Indeed, the Shadow Operatives. I'm quite fond of the name. Not that I normally pay much heed to these things, but in this case, I admit to being pleased. It started as sarcasm on the part of the higher-ranked personnel from the police. It could be taken to mean those who deal with shadows, but the real meaning is those who operate in the shadows. Not only is the unit unofficial, we have the difficult to credit job of exterminating monsters. Mostly, I suspect it was a dig at a group that disturbed the expected peaceful years before the older personnel's retirement. But Shadow Operative can also mean one who does an indispensable, albeit unrewarded, job for society. It's a name truly befitting of this organization's goals. We're approaching the first anniversary of the Shadow Operative's establishment. Though we're still at the level of basic investigation and laying groundwork, it seems a full-scale case has arisen.
Fighting is not our first option, but I'd be more reassured with you there. We have a general idea of where it was taken, the Inaba area, where there were reports of suspected shadow activity last year.
Good as it is to hear from an old, reliable friend, I admit the call to a quick exchange of
I'll
information.
send you the precise location later. Sorry to call when you've just returned from a trip, but I'm relying on your assistance.
I close my call and turn towards my colleague.
He's only just returned and he's going directly to the location from the airport. Akihiko never changes.
The man I was on the phone with just now is Akihiko Sanada. He's one of our non-permanent staff. Akihiko is an excellent persona user, but beyond that, he's a skilled boxer. He's a friend of mine from high school who fought the shadows alongside me. I admire his strict determination to never neglect his training, but the extreme lengths he goes to can be rather inconvenient. After entering college, he accepted my invitation to be one of the founding Shadow Operatives, but it was his actions afterwards that went above and beyond. Sure, I'll join, but if I'm going to use my strength professionally, I want to get my skills to a level I'm happy with first. Thus began his long training expedition. He's not only wandering the country, he's traveling the entire world. I can't decide whether to be dumbfounded or impressed by his dedication to training. All of this is to say that he only just returned to Japan to take part in this operation. I give a wee smile and lean back in my chair. Seeing me relax, the girl watching nearby smiles. This is Aigis, known for her blonde hair and piercing blue eyes. She's a sweet girl on the outside, but she has what it takes to be an important member of our squad.
Will we be able to find Labrys? My sister?
When I look over at Aigis, her eyes are cast downward with a worried expression.
Will we be able to save her? Isn't that what you really want to ask?
She must have known once I called Akihiko in as backup. There is a possibility that we will have to fight Labrys. Knowing that, it's not a great leap to imagine that in the worst case, she may have to be destroyed. And it's true, alas. If all else fails, and our safety is at risk with no other way to stop her, that option is on the table. Still.
Don't worry. As I mentioned to Akihiko, fighting Labrys is not our priority. The reason I formed this Shadow Operative team is to save lives. We will find her, whatever it takes, and bring her back. We can do this.
Yes. I'm sorry to be so pessimistic.
Those feelings you have for Labrys, you should tell her when you see her.
I will.
The monitor is showing certain data that is under multiple redundant encryptions. Corrigial Ergonomics Research Lab confidential matters. There is, in fact, a reason I'm reviewing these materials that are normally securely concealed. For 2 days ago, on May 1st, I was unexpectedly dragged into a serious incident. The passenger plane I was taking to Kagoshima was hijacked, when there hasn't been a domestic hijacking for 10 years. The top brass of the police, afraid to make any more mistakes, sent in the Shadow Operatives. The case itself was resolved quickly and all the culprits arrested. None of the passengers were harmed either. But the hijackers' true motive wasn't terrorism or political demands, as one would expect. I was surprised to find they were really after my cargo. It was a sealed box from the Ergonomics Research Lab that we were transporting to Yakushima on that flight. No one thought that the risky hijacking could have been in pursuit of just the cargo, and as a result, one of the objects was stolen. The arrested suspects are all in police custody, but none of them have any memory of carrying out the crime. Someone was pulling their strings. very probably using uncommon methods. Considering that Puppet Master was targeting shadow-related cargo, I doubt they'll be easy to deal with. As for what was stolen, I just mentioned its name a moment ago. The 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labrys, is an older model from 2 generations ago. Since shadow-related ergo research documents were lost in an accident, we know little about Labrys. She's an android, most likely a female version, just like Aigis. But instead of a weapon loadout, she seems to have been fitted with some kind of experimental equipment. That's all we know. Still, thanks to our collaborator's quick wit, the escaping vehicle was traced with the end system. It wasn't easy, but we managed to pinpoint its location. It was headed for the city of Inaba, where there may have been shadow activity last year. Once the preparations to depart are complete, I'll head there myself. My mind wanders a bit. Though I was unaware of them, the shadow of the sins committed in the Kurijo's name is still so painful. 10 years on, that I sometimes want to avert my eyes. But now is not the time to be bound by the past. Now is the time to act. I suddenly noticed that Aigis has been staring at me worriedly. I gave her a smile and stand up decisively. We're pulling up to Yasuo Inaba, the central town of Inaba. Though this is the central town, the main street seems nearly deserted, and there's virtually no activity to be seen through the car windows. It was confirmed that the vehicle transporting Labrys was abandoned here. Our first move would be to confirm the situation, or so I thought. I attempt to ignore the rude stares of people trying to get a look inside the car, focusing instead on the scent of my tea. People keep crowding around when we park. We've had to move it a number of times already. We didn't get a moment's peace until the cars reached the junkyard on the outskirts of town. As I try to keep from sighing, Aigis speaks up from her seat in front of me.
Mitsuru-san, our activities are supposed to be undercover, correct?
Yes.
For undercover missions, it will be necessary to keep all personnel and vehicles from being noticed.
Right.
Mitsuru-san, may I say something that I've been meaning to say for a while now?
No.
Understood.
That's always amazing. Aigis' poker face is a perfect blank. Though I understand what she's getting at, I've actually wanted to say something along those lines to those around me for a while. Still, it would be galling to hear it from someone else just
All
now.
I told them was to give us a car with enough space.
Our contact has arrived.
The man approaching us is someone whose cooperation I specifically requested. His name is Detective Kurosawa. Before I can welcome him, Aigis speaks up.
My. This was not our designated meeting area, yet he has discovered us.
You want to know how I did it?
Lately, it feels that whenever Aigis wants to voice her opinion to me, she intentionally puts on the robot act. They mentioned this at the lab. That if Aigis still speaks in that stiff, formal manner, either she's getting too human and is developing habits, or she's doing it on purpose.
We
Honestly,
appreciate your cooperation, Detective Kurosawa.
Long time no see, miss. And Aigis, was it?
Indeed. It has been a while.
Detective Kurosawa was an officer at a police box near the school we attended 3 years ago. He was shunned for cooperating with us and busted back down to officer, but now that the shadow operatives are officially recognized, he's in their good graces again. A man who can be trusted beyond the confines of his station to solve a case, even going so far as to bend the rules. He's a rare breed. Detective Kurosawa's expression has softened while he makes small talk with Aigis, which makes me realize that this may be the first time he's seen Aigis in her combat form.
I shouldn't make you stand while we talk. Please, get in.
Ah, sorry. I haven't seen you in a while, so I had a lot to say.
He must understand that we are trying to go incognito. Though it's kind of him to not point out that our vehicle and attire are completely unsuited to that goal as he enters the limousine, he sits and does not even wait until the door is closed before getting to the point.
I found out quite a bit regarding the case you had me look into. First, I reviewed the report on the incidents from last year. One of the suspects mentioned the word persona.
So what went on here last year?
It's probably related, but I wasn't done there. Parts of this guy's testimony were even more outlandish. If you can take what's in the record at face value, it seems Persona users can enter TVs within the Inaba region.
Enter TVs? What does that mean?
Just what it sounds like. You physically stick your body into the screen and go inside. He claimed there was another world in the TV, and dropping people inside it was the method behind last year's murders.
This all sounds rather absurd. I'm surprised it was included in the police report.
I got in touch with the detective in charge at the time and said the same thing. Apparently the report was filed by a young partner of his at the time. He'd entertained the wildest testimonies like this one.
He sounds like quite the oddball.
If this was what really went on, the police would have had no chance cracking it. But that Detective Dojima is one shrewd guy. Even with all the supernatural hocus-pocus surrounding the case, he caught the culprit.
Along with a bunch of meddling kids. What I asked of him was to collect information about the serial murders that occurred in Inaba last year. The shadow operatives aren't public knowledge, so I thought the local police would be more willing to speak with him, but the results surpassed my expectations. Though it is slightly frustrating to already run up against something I'm powerless to achieve myself.
That's all I have for you right now. I should be going. I doubt either of us has time to reminisce over the old days. It's funny though. I thought the fighting was over, but you guys surprise me every time I see you.
Thank you very much, Officer Kurosawa. Why don't we at least see you off?
Oh, that's all right. I've got my own car. I doubt my department would appreciate your tastes. If I ever showed up for work in something like this, I'd be the talk of the force until the day I retired.
Detective Kurosawa jokes with us before exiting the limousine, waving casually back at us. I had nothing to say that as I watched him leave, rotating his shoulders to work out some kinks. Aigis, though, felt the need to comment.
Mitsuru-san, this could be bad. Our sense of social aptitude is in question.
Can't deny that.
What should we do now?
Yes. First, we'll need to test the claim that Persona users can enter TVs.
We are a junkyard after all, and I can see a number of consumer electronics that have been discarded illegally. Aigis looks around and points at a certain pile as she gets out of the car.
There's a discarded TV over there. If the environment does not matter, we can use it to test the phenomenon.
Wait, Aigis.
Don't worry. I'm just going to touch it.
That's not what I was worried about. Aigis isn't wearing anything like a disguise and... I'm overthinking it. We've already attracted enough attention as is. Even if we leave now without doing anything, our pictures could still end up on the internet. Let them gossip about the strange people in funny clothes. It'll become some urban legend. My mind made up, I step outside wearing my special equipment. Once Aigis sees that I followed her, she gives a small nod and stretches her hand out toward the screen.
Amazing!
Her hand, it's inside the TV screen, but the screen itself seems undamaged. Aigis' hand is swelled up to her wrist, as if she put it into a bucket of water.
Interesting. It's exactly as the police report said. What's it like inside? Do you feel anything?
Not particularly. No, wait a moment. It's the same as mine. It's hard to say definitively since this is my first encounter with it, but I believe this reading is from a personality module.
Does that mean our retrieval target is inside the TV?
Huh. Sounds like fun.
That voice from above. It sounds very familiar. And wow, he just cut immediately. Dang, okay. But all I see in the direction from where it came is a man in an outlandish red cape. I hesitate for a moment. Could it be?
Is that Akihiko?
The man leaps from the stacked tower of TVs like an
You
acrobat.
didn't show up at the rendezvous point, so I went looking and found you here. This whole TV thing is pretty interesting.
In spite of myself, I bury my face in my palm.
Akihiko, what on earth are you wearing? Just what were you doing overseas?
Didn't I tell you that I was on a training expedition?
Don't tell me you came here from the airport like that. Does the concept of keeping a low profile mean nothing to you?
Mitsuru-san, I believe we have lost the right to complain about that.
That's it. I'm never mentioning the subject of our appearance again.
Anyway, we can go inside from that TV, right? What are we waiting for?
Still the same Akihiko. We don't know the situation inside yet, and we'll need a secure means of getting out.
So what? If we want to get this Labrys back, someone has to go inside, right?
Well, that's...
Our target hijacked a plane to throw into a TV in this town. If we sit on our hands, it's possible we'll be put in serious danger.
Akihiko's right. That's exactly why we've been trying to act as quickly as possible since this case
We're
began.
different from how we used to be. We made the choice to fight shadows as professionals. That's why I traveled around the world and trained harder than ever. But now that something's actually come up, you're hesitating? We agreed to do this. I'm ready to stake my life on the mission.
Recklessly unafraid to state his honest opinion. Classic Akihiko. You must understand, and that is his role. Certainly, there are times when I need such opinions, and it's been a while since he went abroad. I think I can understand his current mindset.
All right. Wait right here. I need to go make a phone call first.
Okay, but make it quick.
He doesn't have to tell me twice. I take out my phone and bring up the contact list. A world inside a TV. I don't know what it might be like in there, but I do know someone that could help us. I was originally going to ask their help after Labrys was secure, but perhaps the time has come. Now I've taken all possible precautions. The rest is a test of our resolve.
The other members will wait here in the car.
Yeah. If we all barge in and something happens, we'll be devastated.
Now that you mention it, at least one of us should be staying behind as well.
I am not staying.
Us three will be plenty. We'll end this in a flash. No problem.
The same as always. Although, we have no idea what might be waiting for us on the other side. Don't get careless.
Right.
This situation, it brings back memories.
Ready!
Why enter the TV? What's going on?
Where am I? Is this inside the TV?
I remember being enveloped in a white light, but what came afterwards is unclear. Is this the world inside the TV? Oddly enough, the sight before me seems to be the main gate of a school. The name engraved on the entrance plate is...
Yasagami High School. I do recall that name from our map of Inaba. An existing high school has been completely recreated inside the TV?
I then came to a realization. I've encountered something much like this before. It doesn't appear to be much different from reality as far as appearances, but it has the same distinctive sticky atmosphere. The labyrinth Tartarus, that was our battleground 3 years ago. It bears a lot of similarity to this place.
Where are the others? Akihiko! Aigis!
Being separated won't do anything but further our mission. Perhaps I can use my communication power to get in touch with them.
I can't reach them through my persona either. This place is highly unusual.
It's still barely functioning, but the noise here is severe. I'll need to understand this world a little better and find a quiet place to concentrate. As I check my surroundings again for any enemies, I hear the sound of footsteps. I tense, making myself ready for anything. But when I turn around, a uniformed girl stops, looking at me in bewilderment. I didn't expect to meet someone else here, let alone a seemingly ordinary school girl like this. Could her age and outfit be a connection to the theft of Labrys? But after the girl's surprise faded, she still seemed confused by my appearance. Seems that even here, in another dimension, people are startled by my attire. At least her reaction allayed my suspicion. People reveal something of themselves when they're caught off guard. Anyone in the act of committing a crime couldn't fake being perplexed so naturally.
Did I surprise you? I suppose my outfit is somewhat unusual.
Oh, no.
Why are you here?
Well,
A loud cheer suddenly swells, cutting off our conversation. There's definitely a crowd present here. I look around the area in confusion. It's sounding like all the cheering just ends.
What? Where is that coming from?
Students appear one after another, clearly intrigued to see us here.
What's going on?
Before I can react, an image appears on the monitor buried beneath the bizarre decorations.
Hello! Hello! This is General Teddy, your benevolent dictator!
That's the first time I've heard him say that in this entire Let's Play.
And I, Rosette, am your commentator. It's time for the next round in the P1 Grand Prix. Are you ready to fight?
P1 Grand Prix? Fight?
Suddenly, on the one in the ridiculous costumes queue, smoke pours out around us. The spotlight shines from somewhere directly upon me. I instinctively raise my arm to shield my eyes from the harsh light. It feels like I'm being displayed for an audience.
And who do we have for Yuki-chan's opponent this time? Ooh! It's a mysterious, beautiful lady! How unexpected!
Oh my gosh, we broke General Teddy! Finally!
Teddy? What's wrong?
Do you know that bear?
Monitor showing the one in costume calling himself General Teddy suddenly fuzzes over with static. The static gets worse and worse, until an eerily expressionless bear costume that looks as though it forgot how to make facial expressions appear on screen. The voice is the same as before, but his tone is harsh and mechanical now.
Case 04, unintended intruder. Entering elimination process.
What is that supposed to mean? What's going on?
As soon as the abnormality registers, I can feel a bizarre noise that's like something scratching against my whole body. Was that some kind of an attack? It didn't seem to have any effect on me, but the girl standing beside me underwent quite a change.
Who do you think you are, showing up alone like this? It's no use trying to talk your way out of it. There's nothing to discuss. You don't even try to understand anyone anyway. If you want to wall yourself off from everyone, I'll be happy to end your lonely life here.
The girl's face distorts with hatred as she spites her words at me. It's a far cry from her earlier demeanor. It's as if she's a completely different person. And that's not all. Understandably, she seemed not to know me before, but now she speaks as if she does. What is this? Could it be the effect of the noise I sensed?
Won't be so smug for long. Come, Konohana Sakuya!
A persona?
The girl spreads the fan in her hand, and with a flash of light, a persona manifests. How careless of me. I should have accounted for this possibility as soon as I saw her here in this
We
world.
won't be settling this peacefully, I see. In which case...
I've ready my evoker and concentrate.
To me, Artemisia.
Power rises from within me, and the sensation in my limbs tells me that my persona has emerged. My hand holding my evoker is still at my side. My persona, did it just appear without the use of my evoker to trigger it? Did I summon it only by thinking? Theoretically, one doesn't need an evoker to summon one's persona. I didn't have one the day my persona first manifested, and I've done without one several other times as well. But never before have I summoned it so easily without any special concentration. it's as if my consciousness is reaching far beyond the boundaries of my body. By way of analogy, it feels like being able to control the wind with my fingertips. Can it be because this world is special? The girl's voice brings me back to the situation at hand. Which reminds me, the girl doesn't seem to use any special implements to summon hers either.
Persona user. Fine. I still won't lose.
Sorry, but I won't be defeated either.
And with that, it's time to fight Yukiko. Let's go.
Finally.
Okay, so, Mitsuru is honestly another character that I really like to use, but, you know what? I'm just gonna do this already. So, yeah. I love this special so much. Nicely done.